Hi there, welcome to PACRA Insights, a program that talks about everything PACRA. My name is Brian Mwale. I'm Public Relations Manager at the Patents and Companies Registration Agency, PACRA. On this edition, we talk about compliance with PACRA Services. So we feature Ndonano Sioluta, who's Manager Compliance, just to get to find out what this means when it comes to PACRA Services. Ndonano, it's a pleasure having you on our program.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you for having me.
What does it mean to be compliant?
Okay, in plain English, compliance really is about following rules. You follow the law and official requirements that apply to you or your business. And then when it comes down to PACRA now, we look at companies and business names, for example. So compliance looks at issues to do with filing of annual returns on time. It's about informing us as regulators or authorities that deal with business registration services on issues pertaining to your company in terms of changes, for example, in directors, changes in alteration in capital, changes in ownership. When we talk compliance, we are simply saying, tell us about who particularly owns this particular business.
So how often is one supposed to be compliant with PACRA?
Compliance with PACRA, you will be surprised to know that when it comes to issues to do with changes in directors, changes in shareholder, these are demand driven by the client, so it is up to you, the client. When you do changes in director, you bring in somebody new in the business, you are required by law to submit these particular changes with the agency. When it comes to annual returns, these are done yearly.
So let's talk about, let's zoom in into annual returns because it appears to be one of the major and common issues related to compliance. Mm-hmm. What is expected of one who's running either a business name or a limited company to be compliant with PACRA?
Okay, so firstly, people tend to confuse filing of annual returns between PACRA and ZRA. When it comes to annual returns should be taken like a yearly checkup of your business, okay? And it shouldn't be confused with the filings that are done at ZRA. I know at ZRA you have to submit your monthly returns, but at PACRA, these returns are submitted every year. And each company indicates at the point of registration what their financial year end date is going to be. It is on that date that we expect you to come, Brian, and submit your annual return. For that container you have at home, you come and submit the return. Why are you submitting the return? You are simply telling the government, you are simply telling PACRA or the public out there that, hey, I am alive, our business is still in existence, and you are giving us updated and current information as an agency. Why should you give us this information? It's because PACRA is a repository of information. We hold the database for all company and business information. And so you have these different stakeholders that tap into us. They will want to get information about brands, the ABC Kantemba out there. Is this company in existence? Is brand compliant in terms of filing of annual returns, or is he up to date in terms of his share capital? So these stakeholders do engage PACRA to check whether you're actually the owner of this business. So if you do not file annual returns, it means that as a registry, we then have outdated information. When we have outdated information, it means that the information that these other stakeholders like ERB, you have ZPPA that wants to know who the shareholders, directors are, whether you are filing your annual return, what is your capital. You have investors that want to invest in your business. They will only be able to know if that you are credible or trustworthy if your filings are up to date with PACRA.
So what is the charge for filing annual returns? So how much exactly are we talking about?
Okay, so I will, I think, narrow it down to the business names that ordinary Zambians like me register and limited companies. Okay, the fees are different. So for a business name, it is 111 kwacha points, 20 ngwe only per year. And for limited company, we are talking of about 266 kwacha 0.67 ingwe yearly.
So if somebody has not filed in, do they come with any penalties if they've not filed in within the stated 3 months after the end of the financial year?
Yes, unfortunately, where you do not want to abide by the law, there are penalties that accrue. So for failure to file in within the specified time frame, you attract a penalty of 200 kwacha.
Okay, let's put it this way. If somebody says, well, I don't want to file annual returns, what are the legal implications?
You don't want to file your annual returns. Remember, at the beginning when I was explaining what compliance is about following the rules. It's about following the official requirements that are stipulated. So you cannot sit, Brian, and say, no, make up your mind to say, I'm not going to file the returns. By law, you are required to submit the annual returns. Non-filing for 2 consecutive years will lead to your entity being deregistered. By deregistering, we are saying we're going to take you off our register. Now imagine, Brian, you deciding to say, I'm not going to file this annual return for 2 years with PACRA, and then you get a tender from the government.
And your business has been deregistered.
And your business has been deregistered. Remember, just think about the hassle that you're going to go with. You now start running to PACRA. PACRA, help me, I have this tender. Your business is deregistered. You should have just followed the rules, the laws that have been stipulated and submitted the annual return. And like I said, the fees are really manageable. We charge per.
So these fees are regardless of how much one makes a year, the standard.
It's independent, and I get a lot of questions from clients because I think clients have this fear or misconception that when it comes to filing of annual returns with PACRA, we are interested in seeing their financials. No. Our role as an agency is just to want to know whether you are alive out there as a business.
We've had situations where people have been wondering that despite their, bids being, the papers, everything being in place, the financing being in place, and they still don't get bids, they don't get tenders from government institutions and other private entities. Does compliance come into play in such scenarios?
Yes, Brian, we have synergies with the government institute. We've created synergies with government institutions, and now it is law that you have to be compliant. Before this business or government institution awards you a tender, they would need to check whether you are compliant with PACRA. So compliance not only with annual returns and share capital, but also with beneficial ownership. So my request to you or my plea to you is that just always ensure that you are compliant. It takes nothing away from you from being compliant.
As we wrap up, how does one file annual returns? Do they need to come here? Because there's a complaint that, look, I think queues at PACRA or getting into traffic and all that stuff. How easy can it be done?
Okay, good question, Brian. Fortunately, or the good news for you is that annual returns can be submitted online. So you simply need to either go to our website, which is www.pacra.org.zm, and locate our online resources. Then you'll be able to create an account on the portal and submit your annual returns. We also have a link on the government's, let me say the government. Okay. So one is also able to submit their annual return using the government service bus portal. So equally on that portal, when you go there, you create your account and you'll be able to submit your annual return. The beauty is submission is quite quick. Payments are easy now. You don't have to pay using cash. You can pay using your mobile money, be it Airtel, MTN, or Zamtel. And you can also pay using your Visa card.
As we wrap up this interview, Nana, what's your final words to somebody that is not filing annual returns and somebody who's had this misconception about PACRA annual returns?
Okay, so I would like to encourage the businessman or businesswoman out there to say if you are going to have a business, it is important that you have a business that is trustworthy, a business that is compliant, and a business that is transparent. So I wish to encourage you to visit PACRA and ensure that your business is compliant.
Thank you very much. And Donano, I've been talking to the PACRA Manager Compliance, Donano Siruta, just delving into the aspects of compliance that you need to file your annual returns as little as 111 kwacha for business names and about 266 kwacha for limited companies. The importance of filing annual returns for you is that if you do not do that for 2 consecutive years, you risk having your company deregistered, or you also get to lose out on huge tenders because government entities and also the private sector do not give business to entities that are not compliant with PACRA. Thank you very much for tuning into PACRA Insights. Until next time, God bless.
PACRA, business that's here.